Welcome to Basic Electronics Engineering. This is Module 1, Basics of Semiconductor. Now today we will discuss some numerical problems on Fermi level, conductivity, mass action law, drift and diffusion current. Now in this example, it is told that calculate the probability that an energy level which is 2 times of Boltzmann constant and the ambient temperature in Kelvin above the Fermi level is occupied by an electron at T equal to 300 Kelvin. So T equal to 300 Kelvin is the ambient temperature. At this temperature, we have to calculate the probability that an energy level uh, that is 2 kT above the Fermi level is occupied. So we have to calculate the probability. So for this calculation, we need to recapitulate about the equation of Fermi energy level. That is Fermi level, that means the equation related to uh, the Fermi Dirac distribution is f of E equal to 1 by 1 plus exponential E minus EF by kT. Now what is EF? EF stands for the Fermi level, and this Fermi Dirac equation is telling us the probability of occupancy of electron of a particular energy level capital E. So here E is equal to 2 times of kT. Obviously the difference of E and EF is 2 times of kT, and K is the Boltzmann constant and T is the ambient temperature. We don't need to calculate the product of K and T because if we take the ratio 2 kT by kT, that gives us the cancellation of K and T, and therefore we are getting an easy expression of 1 by 1 plus exponential 2. So therefore we are getting the percentage is 11.92. So therefore this type of question requires to remember the equation only, the Fermi-Dirac distribution equation, and here the product calculation, that means K and T, such constants, that means the value of K sometimes required for a particular problem, but in this problem you no need to calculate the value of K, or no need to remember the value of K, because from the equation it is cancelling out, that is 2 kT by kT cancels out the presence of Boltzmann constant. Now this is the second problem. It tells the find out the intrinsic resistivity of germanium at 300 Kelvin if the intrinsic carrier concentration of germanium at 300 Kelvin be 2.33 into 10 to the power 19 per meter cube. So per meter cube is the per unit volume. The unit of volume is in meter cube. That is why per meter cube is written. Now the mobility values are given. Mu n is equal to 0.39 meter square per volt second, and mu p, that is the mobility for holes, equal to 0.19 meter square per volt second. So these are the two constants are given. You have to calculate the intrinsic resistivity of germanium at 300 Kelvin. Now resistivity is nothing but the inverse of conductivity. You know the equation of conductivity, which is the ratio of the J and capital E. So therefore you can easily find out the resistivity by calculating the inverse of conductivity. So in this equation, the conductivity equation you need to recapitulate, and here for the intrinsic uh, germanium semiconductor, it is sigma I equal to E times, that means electron charge times the intrinsic carrier concentration Ni multiplied by the summation of the mobility of electrons and holes. Now both the values of electrons and holes mobility are given here. Only thing is that you have to also the carrier concentration, intrinsic carrier concentration Ni is also given here. You know what is the electron charge, that is why electron charge is not given. So for such problem, normally electron charge, Boltzmann constant, these things are required to remember. So remember, this is 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb, and therefore from this you can get the conductivity is 216. Capital S stands for Siemens, which is the uh, Siemens per meter. So here you need this sigma I calculation, that means the conductivity is required, and once you are getting the conductivity sigma I, you can easily find out the ratio of the or reciprocal of the conductivity, that means 1 by sigma I, that is equal to the resistivity. So therefore we got it is 0.46 ohm meter. So this is the answer for this question. Now later on another question, which is calculate the percentage increase of conductivity of pure silicon at 300 Kelvin if it is doped p-type with boron concentration 5 into 10 to the 17 per meter cube. Now here the intrinsic carrier concentration and the mobility of electrons and holes are given. So for the first problem, before going to the second problem, let us try to understand what is the first problem. You need to calculate the percentage of increase of conductivity. So therefore since doping has been made, that is why from the extrinsic from the extrinsic semiconductor point of view, you have to calculate what is the increased conductivity. Now since boron has been doped, so boron is a trivalent atom, so therefore it will be a p-type semiconductor. So therefore you are getting sigma I equations to be derived, all the values of the electron, intrinsic carrier concentration. If you put, you will get it is equal to 0.468 into 10 to the power minus 3 Siemens. So here when doped with boron, conductivity becomes, you are getting sigma p is equal to the product of electron charge, hole concentration and the mobility. So that is given by this one. So why you have taken E into P into mu P? Because here the mobility of electron you can ignore, because it is now p-type semiconductor, therefore EP into mu P is the conductivity for the p-type semiconductor. Now since the hole concentration and acceptor concentration are almost equal, therefore acceptor concentration 5 into 10 to the 17 you are replacing at the place of hole concentration, and therefore you got 3.6 into 10 to the minus 3 Siemens is the intrinsic conductivity of silicon. Now the percentage increase of conductivity is given by 3.6 minus 0.468 by 3.6, that is 86.94%. For the second question, also calculate the electron and hole concentration of n-type semiconductor, that is n-type silicon, if its resistivity is 0.01 ohm meter. So resistivity is given, only you have to calculate the electron and hole concentration. So for this the resistivity you know, therefore sigma n sigma n, that means better you write sigma, because it is n-type semiconductor, that is why sigma n and sigma both are same. So here E into n into mu n is given by 1 by rho, and that is equal to 10 to the power 2 Siemens per meter. But in this case what are the informations already known? Already known is that we know that E n mu n is equal to 10 to the power 2, and that is equal to electron charge multiplied by electron concentration and the mobility of electron. So mu n is not changing, that is 0.15 meter square per volt as given in the last question. Only one thing is not known, that is the electron concentration is not known, and you can calculate from this equation. The electron concentration is 4.166 into 10 to the power 21 per meter cube. Therefore from the law of mass action you can find out Np is equal to Ni square. Therefore the whole concentration is the ratio of Ni square to the N, and that is equal to 5.4 10 to the power 10 meter per meter cube. Now consider a semiconductor doped with a donor density Nd and no acceptors are there. So determine the free electron and hole densities in equilibrium if Ni is equal to 10 to the power 10 per centimeter cube and Nd is uh, first 10 to the power 12 per centimeter cube and 10 to the power 18 per centimeter cube for the semiconductor. Now from the mass action law we know Np is equal to Ni square. So this is the first equation you need to recapitulate, and that is the main equation which will be helping you out for a specific extrinsic semiconductor. So it has told initially that consider a semiconductor doped with donor. So when it is doped with donor, it is n-type semiconductor by default, and no acceptors. That means it's ideal n-type semiconductor which has no holes. So ideal situation doesn't occur practically, but consider for this problem no need to consider the hole concentration. It is fully donor concentration and the electron concentration. Okay, so Nd and N both are same because number of donor and number of electrons are same. Now determine the free electrons and hole densities in equilibrium. So intrinsic semiconductor carrier concentration is 10 to the power 10 per centimeter cube. So Nd is 10 to the power 12 per centimeter cube. Therefore, you need to find out the free electron and hole densities. Since the total amount of positive charge and total amount of negative charge under the thermal equilibrium uh, uh, for semiconductor we know, so therefore Nd plus P is equal to Na plus N. So total amount of positive charge and total amount of negative charge are same. Now since it is n-type semiconductor, we can ignore the acceptor carrier concentration. Therefore Nd is equal to N minus Ni square by N. So from this we are getting quadratic equation of small n, and we can simplify it to find out the value of small n if Nd equal to 10 to the power 12. So therefore once we are getting the electron concentration, the mass action law provides the remaining part, that is hole concentration. So Nd equal to 10 to the power 18 per centimeter cube and small n is 10 to the power 18 per centimeter cube, and now P is equal to 10 to the power 2 per centimeter cube. So regarding some MCQs, let us solve some MCQs. If the drift velocity of holes, under a field gradient of 100 volt per meter is 5 meter per second, the mobility is 0.05. So the question is whether it is 0.05 or 0.55, 500 or none of these. So here the actual answer is required to be found out from the equation of the drift velocity. So you know the equation of drift velocity, so you have to apply that equation, and in that equation you can provide the field gradient is 100 volt per meter, and also the drift velocity is 5 meter per second. The mobility you have to calculate. So it's a simple equation you have to solve, and this will be this you will have to calculate. Consider the following statements: pure germanium and pure silicon are examples of direct bandgap semiconductors, indirect bandgap semiconductors, degenerate semiconductors. Now of these statements, which statements are correct? So these are the homework that you have to solve. Some other questions are also given. If the temperature of an extrinsic semiconductor is increased so that the intrinsic carrier concentration is doubled, then the majority carrier density doubles, the minority carrier density doubles, both majority and minority carrier densities double, or none of the above. so that you have to calculate. So all these problems will be solved in the class. Now before that, these are the homeworks given. A small concentration of minority carriers is injected into a homogeneous semiconductor crystal at one point. An electric field of 10 volt per centimeter is applied across the crystal, and this moves the minority carriers a distance of 1 centimeter in 20 microsecond. So the mobility you have to calculate. So this is also another question. So all these questions will be discussed in the class. So till then you can try at your home. Thank you.